Welcome to another strategy short segment. I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. I haven't scripted this. If it's a bit unpolished, I apologize. But I want to share with the audience the joys of using client states to deal with tribals. As Rome, I'm playing this particular game. I went up in here in the beginning, early part of the game, took, I believe, this territory from a tribe. Turned it into a client state shortly thereafter. I used the client state to annex this territory for zero aggressive expansion, essentially just declared war and then transferred the occupation of these various capital territories to the client state. And then at peace settlement, the client state took the aggressive expansion. I also moved Roman pops to this area. If you are going to release a client state, you want to have a majority of the pops in the capital area that you're going to release as your primary culture and maybe primary religion, depending on circumstance, but certainly your primary culture. So if I were going to release this area as a client state, I would want to have a majority of pops in that territory as Roman. They are not. They're not anywhere near it. But I could move these 18 slaves out, and I could move Romans in. Now I might have to dig deep. There's Romans here. I might have to move them up here to do it, but it's well worth your while if you don't want to get 100 aggressive expansion from annexing a large swath of tribal territory like this. What I did is I did exactly what I just described, only I moved a bunch of pops here to Vienna. As to whether they're still there, I don't know. They are there. 5 Roman pops, those are the guys I essentially moved there. This is my client state's capital. So what I did is I moved a sufficient number of Romans. In this case was 5 Romans, 5 Druidic Romans in this case, as I didn't have Hellenic Romans and I didn't actually want Hellenic Romans, and I'll explain that in a moment. So what I did is I moved it and made it a majority Roman and majority Druidic territory. So we note here again, Roman culture and Druidic religion. Now normally you would want perhaps it to be your primary religion, but as it's Druidic up here, these guys are going to assimilate faster as a Roman Druidic hybrid than a Roman Hellenic hybrid. The area will also maintain loyalty more readily, as I'm sure this client state has chosen 4 Druidic pantheons, which is going to add 16% happiness to all of the pops throughout this vast area. So just depending on the circumstances, you would want to figure that out for yourself in the game, your game's given circumstance again. So once you've done that, wait for the month to tick over so the system updates and it will know that it is now a predominantly primary religion and primary culture and whatever religion you've chosen. So in this case, it was Roman and Druidic. Once that's done, you can release it as a client state. You don't want to release it immediately because sometimes the system gets it in its head that it was the previous version. Just wait till the end of the month tick or end of the month rollover and you won't have any problems. But before you release it, of course, you want to create a single claim. So like what I did is I released this territory. At this point, I only had these 4 territories. This was someone else's. So I claimed what was left of the provenance of Allobriga. And then I waited a sufficient amount of time until the claim hit. You can do other things, you can, be involved in other matters, but you come back and you can then trigger said claim. And your client state can just bring your tech level 10 Roman armies up here, and this guy was a tech level 0 tribal essentially, and occupy all of the area very quickly, transfer the occupation of these capitals. There's going to be a button right here. It'll say transfer occupation. Since we're not at war, there's no option, but it's very easy procedure. You just click the button there and it'll say transfer to who, and then you'd choose the client state most closest to the territory. Or actually, you can choose any client state anywhere, but I don't do it. I suppose you could if you wanted to. The client states can annex land anywhere they please. There's no border adjacency required. But anyway, it's the flavor that you want to play with. I don't usually do that because I like to have a singular, less border gore for my client states. By and large, the bottom line is I had exactly one claim here, and I annexed a massive swath of land, and this guy has yet to blow up. In fact, let's check the status of Vienna. It was some time ago. I would be surprised if he had any aggressive expansion. But we'll find out. There it is. He's down to 0. He has none. So not only is the area loyal, by and large, sort of, but sort of is loyal. Maybe it'll blow, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? You get 0 aggressive expansion when your client states annexes it. Another thing that's true, generally speaking, is if you actually have adjacency with, say, like Rome here, and this area was to blow, you could annex it for free, for 0 aggressive expansion. And if this area were to blow and then this area were to rebel, you could send troops up there, quell the rebellions, and take all of that for free. I generally don't play that way either. There's another client state where I did this sort of thing over here. I noted that I was already colonizing up over here, and there was an opportunity to get adjacent to what was a short time ago the Bosporan Kingdom. So what I did is I colonized here, and then took this entire province. I also just sent I colonized Tumen and then Romanized it, and then waited the month and then released it. And that was about, 4 years ago. Two wars later, the Bosporan Kingdom is essentially no more, and Tumen is a massive client state. The thing is that Tumen, for whatever reason, I'm not exactly sure why, is having some very serious loyalty issues here. So this province here is going to blow. Not because I'm trying to farm and exploit, although you certainly could farm and exploit by trying to make your client states blow. It just happens to be that way. So in a matter of at less than 3 years, by my reckoning, or about 3 years, this province here is going to rebel. At which point I can send these troops up there and annex it for free. 0 aggressive expansion. I think a couple of these territories here are very loyalty challenged indeed, but that's just something that you may want to look into. That's a bonus, but not the point of the strategy. The strategy is exactly what I just detailed right there. And I rarely hear about this on the boards. I don't see anyone doing it a lot in any YouTube videos that I watch, so I just wanted to let everyone know this is an option, and that is going to do it for this strategy short.